in case she's watching online. In the eyes of God, it's all good. I would just like to drop a tidbit in. Paulo Coelho, who wrote The Alchemist, and Daniel Nahmad both dealt with the same theme. What if this whole thing is not about becoming anything at all, but what if it's about unbecoming what we never were? So I'm working with that this week. It is time for us to invoke our statement of being. So if you would stand. And is it on the screen? Yes. All righty. Here we go. Ready? We believe that life is good, that God is all there is, and that love is the only power. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family, bringing the gifts of active compassion and kindness to the world. Our purpose is to transform lives, build dreams, and reveal God through education, music, prayer, service, generosity, and play. Please play with some people around you. Time to return from the playground.
Please go back to your own neighborhood.
Yes.
Please move back to your own
It is not nap time yet, so don't think about that.
It's not nap time, but it is time for announcements. So wake up, everybody. Here we go. All right. So you want to start or do you want me to?
I'll do it. So for those of you here for the meditation, Erica Valentine did a sound bath healing. And she's right there. And she will be doing it again on September 8th in Sunday service. And there are also full-blown, full-on sound baths available. I'm going to call it a sound sauna, even though it's not hot. Coming up in September. A sound shower.
A sound shower, yes. It's a healing sound shower. Okay, so today, I'm so excited that this is happening. This has been something we've talked about and wanted to do here for so long. The Caregiver Support Circle is happening today from 12 to 1:30. How many people in this room are caregivers? Raise your hand if you're caregiving. Great. Reverend Marcia and Mary Jo Garrett, please stand up. They will be facilitating this process for you, this circle, where you can come and share and get support and get love and some tools, spiritual and otherwise, to navigate through your caregiver journey. So please, how many people think they may attend the first circle today so we can know where we're going to be? Yeah, you're going to need to be upstairs.
Upstairs.
Yeah, we'll be upstairs, and you'll be upstairs in Ernest Holmes or somewhere. Okay.
Somewhere upstairs.
Just go upstairs and wander around until you see Reverend Marcia and Mary Jo, and they will take care of you.
So beginning today through September 8th is our annual food drive. Canned goods donated out here will be sent to Second Harvest Food Bank to help those who are not as fortunate. So it starts today through September 8th.
All right. Now, we also have on August 15th, that is Thursday, 5 Thursdays, starting this Thursday, August 15th, is Creative Brilliance. Deb Dake, will you please stand up so that everyone can see? Deb Dake is going to lead you through an incredible journey where you will unleash the powerful creator within. You will be using not paintbrushes, but somehow you will be painting and being creative without paintbrushes.
It's
and
magic.
you don't need to have any experience. So
It's magic.
it's magic. It is. And
Yes.
Deb will take you on that journey of transformation.
You'll be unbecoming the artist that you thought you never were.
There you go.
Do you want to do that one?
Yes, so Reverend Jerry Troyer will be here August 25th. He is a minister in San Diego, but he's also he was the president of Anton, which is the affiliated New Thought Network. Great speaker, wonderful stories, and he has this incredible workshop called The Search for Inner Peace, Being at Home in Muddy Water. And it really helps you get anchored in, like the lotus, that you're in this muddy water, but you're not of it. How do you navigate in the muddy water? And so Reverend Jerry will lead you through that if you sign up for the workshop.
So certificated classes are coming, and you can sign up for them now. They begin in September. And the first one is called Reboot Your Spiritual Operating System. Think about it. You do a lot of updates to your computer, but eventually you get to the point where you have to reboot it. Well, you've done a lot of updates to your spiritual being, and eventually you have to get to the point where you have to reboot for it all to take effect. This person right here, this lovely minister, Reverend Rochelle, will be showing you how to do that.
Thank you, Ron. That was so nice. You know, when you pointed at me, here's where my mind was. I was thinking about all the tabs I always have open. And I don't know if y'all remember the talk I gave on not having so many tabs open. So I thought, I don't know, that's where my mind, that's the story I started making up. That you were going to call me out for the tabs I have open, and that's why you can't reboot. But this is true. This is why you can't reboot many times, or your system doesn't work well, because you've too many tabs open.
I don't judge people based on their number of tabs open.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. I'm safe with you. That's good. All right. Practitioner training is starting. So, yes, I love that. So practitioners training is starting September 12th, and it is a 2-year journey. But the first leg of the journey starts September 12th. And for those of you who have completed the requirements, there are 6 classes who've completed the requirements, and you have talked to me, you will be beginning practitioner training. So that starts, and I will be having a little get-together for us to talk about this. So how many people in the room are qualified and ready to start practitioner training this fall? Raise your hand. And are going to. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, excellent. Some folks are not here. Excellent. All right.
We put a sneak peek for the fall on our website, and the Sunday, the email blast that goes out once a week, you can find everything there and on the website. But September 4th through October 2nd, we're having Empowering Yourself Through Life's Transitions, facilitated online. It's online only, facilitated by Reverend Marcia Binkala and Aparna Shute.
Reverend Marcia and Aparna, will you please stand so everyone can see you? This is about navigating through life's transitions, whether it's in relationships, careers, health, financial, aging, and more. It will guide you through recognizing and exploring your life transitions to discover deeper meaning, empower yourself, and to flourish. And Aparna and Reverend Marcia are going to walk you through that journey. So sign up for that. Thank you.
Yes, and then September 15th. We're already into talking about September. Sunday service guest speakers are Melissa and Z.
How many people know
Eckhoff.
them, Melissa and Z?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're very well known in the CSL movement as ministers and musicians. So they will be doing the music and the message on September 15th, and they are phenomenal. So make sure you show up that day.
And how many people know Gypsy Soul? Alrighty, there.
There's some excitement over here.
Your tickets are on sale right now because they're going to be here September 21st for a benefit concert. So go to the website or go to the concierge and buy those tickets now. There's a good chance it could sell out.
Yes. All right.
That's it.
That is all we have. Let's enjoy the rest of the service, shall
Yes.
we? Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to say I'm so grateful to have my friend Annie Stafford with me joining. The song is entitled Forgive Again. When the pain is too great, so much at stake, had all I can take, forgive again. When we feel wrong, silenced my song, cried so long, forgive again. Hearts reopen, chains are broken when we forgive again and again. Love won't be denied, trust will come alive when we forgive again. When we feel betrayed, dreams delayed, from our own selves we've strayed, forgive again. When we believe we're right, refuse to end the fight, we always lose our sight. So forgive again and again. Hearts reopen, chains are broken when we forgive again. Love won't be denied, trust will come alive when we forgive again. I have a question. Will we see each other's pain, or is our heartache in vain? Can we use our courage to heal? Can we release our shame and let go of all blame and choose to see a different way? Oh, hearts reopen, chains are broken when we forgive again. Love won't be denied, trust will come alive when we forgive again. Annie. and again and again and again and again. Love won't be denied. Trust will come alive when we forgive again. Hearts reopen, chains are broken when we forgive again. Love won't be denied. Trust will come alive when we forgive again and again and again.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie Joy. And Valerie, that is an original composition, right? That is your song, right?
Yes, it
Beautiful.
is. Yes.
Beautiful lyrics. I love it. Thank you, Valerie Joy and Annie Stafford, Billy Johnson, Dave Morishat. Ah, so beautiful. The music, so beautiful. All right. So here we are. How are y'all doing this week? Good, good. I tell you, this month, the theme is conscious conflict. Conscious conflict. And I love when Spirit pushes me or urges me or influences me or nudges me to into a new topic or a talk title. Because it always is timely with whatever is happening that it knew was going to be happening that I didn't. So it's always a wonderful thing. I actually have my theme set up for the whole year, and then every month I check in to see if that's the right theme. And sometimes I get a whole new one, not knowing why. And so here we are in conscious conflict. Would you say that that is something we need to be discussing and learning about right now? Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world, right? We're seeing conflict everywhere in politics. We're seeing it on social media between individuals. I was on YouTube looking for some stuff the other day, but the number of like road rage things that happen. Like, I don't watch the news normally, but the number of like road rage incidents and all this sort of conflict that's happening is incredible. How it's bubbling up, right? All this stuff is bubbling up. So this is a good time for us to really be thinking about conflict and how to be awake as we walk through a very necessary part of how we as human beings get to grow together and know each other and trust each other is conflict. So first, conflict is defined as, there's a lot of paper taped up here. Hang on a second. So conflict is defined as a state or condition marked by a lack of agreement or harmony. It can be to fight or to disagree actively, to come into collision or disagreement, right? This is how conflict is defined. And what's interesting about it is the root of the word, the Latin word is conflictus, which means to strike together, right? So notice it's not to strike against. It's not to strike against, it's to strike together. So what happens if we begin to shift how we perceive conflict, how we enter into conflict, how we experience conflict, how we navigate conflict as a way to strike together, right? Very much like you would strike flint and steel to create fire, which can then warm us or destroy us, right? What happens if we wake up and we create a fire that warms, right? A fire that warms and brings us together. So that's what I'm inviting us into is how do we move into striking together, So I actually just defined conscious conflict, and this is an evolving definition. This is pulled from some of my corporate work, but I defined conscious conflict as the ability to truthfully, and here I'll say capital T, truthfully, rooted in truth, respond to conflict in ways that generate insight, that generate empathy, that generate oneness, and generate creative resolution. Because at the end of the day, all conflict is typically both sides or all sides want the same thing. The conflict arises out of the how. how are we going to get the same thing we want, right? That's where conflict usually shows up. So if we were to apply that, let's say, to our politics, both sides or all sides want a world that works much better, a country that works better, a country where there's more abundance and more opportunity. Both sides want a world that's better for their children and grandchildren than the one we live in currently. Both sides want their kids to be educated and to flourish and grow and thrive and prosper. Both sides want to be healthy and vital themselves. Each side, all sides, want the same thing. The conflict is in the how we get there. Right? So conflict is rooted in how something's going to happen versus the actual being state. Yeah? So let's talk about that. Today's talk is entitled The Big Lie, Us versus Them. Us versus them. And it is the paradigm that we live in. We are born into a world that everything in the world tells us that we're separate from others. Right? Or someone's different from us, or in some way we're separate from God, right? Religion is set up, traditional religion is set up where we are separate from God, right? We need either Jesus, or we need a priest, or we need someone to connect us to the all that is, right? So we're separate from God. And we need other people to help us get to our power. And that is not true. That is not true. We each are born and created and crafted in the image and likeness and out of the divine. Each of us is born out of the one, breathed into existence, created, I always say handcrafted by love. Handcrafted by love, each of us. Each of us is made uniquely. We were made uniquely. Right? And so it's easy when we take these shapes and when we take these forms, when we take the human form, it's easy to forget from whence we come. It's easy to forget that we come from the one source. And that one is expressing in a multitude of ways, in an infinite number of ways, an infinite variety, an infinite uniqueness. And so we don't have to demonize that uniqueness. We don't have to demonize something that seems different than us. And here's what's interesting, and we were talking about this, the practitioners and I in my office, that what happens is in the way we're wired and the way our brains are wired, we're wired to survive, right? We're wired to recognize a threat. Our brains are wired to recognize a threat and protect us at all costs from any threat, right? And so what happens is when we see with our eyes something that appears to be different, a person that appears to be different, a group that appears to be different, maybe they eat different foods, maybe they worship different ways, they make different, they mourn differently, right? They move through life differently. They're on the planet in a different kind of way. When we see that, our brains are wired to tell us that is a threat. That is a threat. So I either need to get control of it or I need to do something to prepare myself because it's unlike me and it may be a threat to my safety, right? And we get triggered, we get hijacked, that amygdala part of the brain, that root part of the brain, that primal part of the brain rises up, and all we can think is, I gotta protect myself, I'm in danger, right? Can you feel this in our politics right now? Yeah? So this is what happens when we buy into the lie, and we're wired to do that. We're wired to survive. But here's what I'm offering, and here's what this teaching offers, is it offers a bypass. It offers a reset, a way to reset that, to bypass that triggering, bypass that lie. And through your spiritual practice, through coming to know God through meditation and prayer and contemplation and being out in nature, coming to know that we're all of the one, that we are like a drop of water in the ocean, right? Multiple drops in the ocean, and within that drop is the ingredients of the ocean, right? Each of us are drops that are popping up, emerging from the ocean. But we're not separate, even though our configuration may look a little different. You know, the Human Genome Project says that, lots of other people say this too, but race, for example, is a social construct. It's a social construct. It's not based on biology or genetics. We're 99.9% the same genetically, right? And yet, we focus on that 0.1%. Like we focus on that 0.1% and leave out all the rest. So even our biology is telling us that we're more alike than different. Our biology is proving the spiritual point, that we are each created out of the all that is. And there's very, 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 our differences are on a hair's edge. On a hair's edge. Right? And yet we've created this whole paradigm around that particular issue and so many others. Right? So many others. So here's the thing. And I'm just going to talk about politics today because I feel like we need to talk about that. We need to talk about what's going on. So, I remember when in 2007 or 8, when the presidential campaign was between Barack Obama and John McCain. Remember way back then? And I remember there was a rally that John McCain was at with his supporters. And there was a woman who got up, and she was crying, and she was very afraid, and she was saying that, Barack Obama is a Muslim, and I'm afraid that if he's going to take over our country. And she was legitimately, authentically afraid and crying. And John McCain said to her, "No, ma'am, no, he's an American, he's a good person, he's a good father, we just have a difference of opinions." Right? We have a difference of opinions, right? And in that same rally, there was a young couple. The woman was pregnant, and the man stood up, and he shared how afraid he was with the possibility of Barack Obama becoming president, that he didn't even want his child to be born into this world. You can go back and look at this. He was so afraid, right? And I remember looking at that rally, and my heart cracked open because I realized that these folks were legitimately afraid, like in a deep, deep fear about the changes that they were seeing. You have to be really afraid to think, I don't want my child to be born into this. That is a deep primal fear, right? And you can't shame people out of that kind of fear. You can't legislate people out of that kind of fear. You cannot moralize people out of that kind of fear. That is a primal fear, right? And so in that moment, I had such an awakening and such an empathy, right, that someone would feel that afraid of what was happening. And it just cracked my heart open. It cracked my heart open. And so what I'm offering and what I'm saying is, we all want the same things. We want a world that we want our children to be born into, right? We want a world where we feel safe and where we have the opportunities for prosperity and we all want those same things. And so part of our practice, particularly in this teaching, is to really begin to look at for ourselves and to look across to those who don't think the same way we do and practice empathy, right? Just really practicing empathy and recognizing that people are in pain, people are in fear, people are freaking out, right? And thrashing about. And it doesn't mean that we excuse bad behavior. It doesn't mean that we excuse unlawful behavior. It doesn't mean that we sacrifice our values. It doesn't mean that we say certain things are okay because they're not. It doesn't mean that we give up or abdicate our civic duty, right? It doesn't mean any of that. It means just in our practice, in our being, to understand that we're all human beings. We're all human beings. We're all spiritual beings having this human experience. And we're all trying to find our way in knowing oneness, right? Because we're all here for that. Thich Nhat Hanh says, we are here to awaken from the illusion of separateness. We are here to awaken from the illusion of separateness. And so for those of us who are in a teaching that says, hey, we come from one source, we may look different, we may think different, we may be different, we may behave differently, we may have different cultures and different norms, but we all come from this one source. For those of us who know that, it's time to wake up. It is time to wake up, and it is time to practice that, right? To practice that. And so what does that look like? Because all this stuff sounds great on Sunday, and it all sounds great when it's abstract, right? It sounds really good when it's abstract, right? But then how do we practice this when it gets real, right? How do we practice this with our family who may not believe the same thing we do? You know, one of the things I think we're grieving still, we're still collectively grieving COVID, because as a collective, we have not really had a ritual to grieve the process we went through during the pandemic, and I'm really, really open to that happening in this community. So we haven't had a chance to grieve that, and I think another thing that we haven't had a chance to or that we're grieving and don't even know is not only the loss of our families from the pandemic, right, but the loss and the rift in some of our families and friendships over politics, right? The loss and the rift and the angst and the, you know, even I was talking to a practitioner client who was, you know, concerned about an upcoming family event, right, an upcoming family gathering, because of not wanting to deal with this stuff. And so how do we be in this? And so, you know, it comes down to love. It comes down to love. And I want to be very clear about what I'm saying, right? Because a lot of things, there's more complexity to it, right? So I don't mean love like, oh, I love you, da da da, oh, you're so pretty. I don't mean that, right? I mean, that's good, but I don't mean that, right? I mean, how do you love someone? How do you be in love when they are saying things or being or behaving in ways that you don't agree with? Right? How do you love someone when they're in a place that you just can't even understand? Right? That's the hard stuff. That is the hard stuff. So here's some things that I want to suggest, right? The more time you spend in your spiritual practice, in relationship with the divine, with the power that created you, the more time you spend in that relationship, it will guide you, literally guide you into what to say, what to do, how to be, how to react, right, in these situations. It will guide you in exactly what the response should be. It may guide you to not put yourself in that situation, right? It may guide you to, you know, my favorite saying, to move that person to the highest and furthest good away from you, right? But the trick of it all is getting anchored first in spirit and moving from that divine right action versus just taking action. So many times we just react to things, right? We react to things. Or so many times we do the thing that we think is the right thing, and that becomes performative, right? That becomes performative. And so really, really going deep within and being in relationship with spirit about that issue or topic or relationship or individual to get clear about what is mine to do here, right? What is the move I need to make? What do I say? How do I be? Show me. And when you are in relationship with spirit, or even if you're not in relationship with spirit, it will show up. But you can hear that still small voice much more when you have a relationship with it. Right? You can discern much more when you have a relationship with it. So the first thing is, right now what the world needs is for you to be doing your spiritual work. Right? We have enough people in the world who are reactionary, who are reacting to things, and we have enough people in the world who are performative, even if they're performing the acts we like. Right? Even if they're performing the things that we like. Right? It can't be just an empty gesture, an empty performance of something. It has to be rooted in truth. It has to be rooted in truth. So that's the first step. Get yourself anchored. Do your spiritual practice. Do your spiritual mind treatment. Work with your practitioner. Get yourself anchored in the rock so that you understand why you're moving, So you understand the choices you're making. So you're awake as you're making choices. So that you can be a place and space and vibration for true oneness to emerge. And for us to be able to agree or agree to disagree and still be humane. Right? And still be respectful. Right? Because you have to be coming from oneness to do as John McCain did, which is say, no. This is a good person. We just disagree on some things. Right? And to not be in this othering energy. Yes? Are y'all with me on this? Yeah? So, the other thing that's interesting, when I was doing consulting and coaching a lot more for corporate, for a while, for about 10 years, I worked for a firm, and I delivered their material on leadership presence and executive presence. And one of the exercises we would do was this exercise where each participant, each executive in the room would trace their life. They would draw their life. And they'd make a drawing of their life from birth to present day, however they want to do that. And there was some work that we did with these drawings. And what was always really interesting to me was how if there were, if I had an executive from, Saudi Arabia and someone else from China and someone else from London, it was amazing how when they would share their rivers with each other, the common threads they would find, right? The common threads that they would find in their childhood, in what their parents dreamed for them, in certain struggles they'd had in their lives, in their journey through their career, right? There were some of the same things. And it was always so amazing to them and to me, even though I knew what to expect, right? Even though I knew what to expect. And even though I go through life assuming we have things in common. One thing I used to love about when I did that work, although I got tired of traveling every week, but I loved getting on a plane, sitting next to someone, and if there would be a spontaneous conversation that would happen, right, or a spontaneous connection that would happen, because I was always willing to talk to folks because I always assumed that we have a lot in common until something tells me otherwise. But it was so beautiful in this work to have these people share their lives and connect with each other and find common ground and find common values and find common experiences, even though they grew up literally worlds apart. And it was always so rewarding to walk through that and to share my life with people and have us make connections that you cannot make any other way, right? You cannot make it any other way. And so it's just a beautiful thing to look at how we are connected, what we have in common. And so I am going to ask you and encourage you to find ways with those family members or friends or loved ones that you know who may be standing on the other side of the political spectrum from you. Is there a way to connect around something deeper, something bigger? Right? Is there a conversation to be had, maybe with a family member, about your childhood? About something that you both remember and know? Is that a lifeline? Is that a lifeline to resuscitate that relationship? Right? To have a ceasefire, a truce, and find common ground. What connects us? Right? What connects us? What do we share? What do we have in common? So I invite you to look at, are there some relationships that you really want to bring back into your life? And is there a possible pathway to do that, right? And imagine if we're doing this individually, right? As I always say, the individual becomes collective, right? Individual consciousness multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. It becomes collective. Because one thing is for certain, in this country, we will have to learn how to live together with a multiplicity of people and multiplicity of beliefs, of ideas, of attitudes, of races and genders, and there's just a multiplicity, right? And to me, this is like the laboratory, right? It's a laboratory for I almost, although I know God is not a person, I almost feel like, God was like, okay, let me just see what happens if I throw them all out there. Now let's see if they can see me, right? Now let's see if they can see me and each other, right? And so I just feel like that's what we're in. It's like this laboratory where it's like, oh, okay, I am safe. Like, let me calm that primal part of my brain down. Let me breathe. Let me get into some practices that I can calm down and recognize that this person who seems to be other or is doing things differently than I do or looks differently is just an expression of the one. Just like me. Just like me, right? So the third thing I'm going to suggest, and the final thing, is this. And this was a hard one for me to get, and sometimes it's still hard. And this is about anything, politics or anything. But here is the thing that is true. If there is only one of us here, if there's only one of us here expressing in a multitude of ways, then you have got to want for your enemy the same thing you want for yourself. You've got to want for the other the same thing you want for yourself. You can't wish ill on the other and have it not impact you in some way, right? You're poisoning yourself, right? And that can be the difficult thing when we're ensnared or we're in conflict, right? Or we're in conflict with that person that is all up in our face and that, we have a conflict with at work or whatever, not even a political conflict, but just a conflict, right? That person that gets on our nerves, right? Or that person who just gets under our skin. Well, you have to want for that person the highest and best that you want for yourself. You have to want that for them. Now, it does not excuse their behavior. It does not mean that you're saying things are okay. But if there's only one of us here, you can't wish and want well for yourself, abundance for yourself, goodness for yourself, life for yourself, health for yourself, right? Opportunities for yourself, success for yourself. You can't want that for you and then not want that for the other, whoever that is. It's impossible. It will if that is what's happening, there will always be a bankrupt system. There will always be a bankruptcy in your life, right, in your spirit. And so this is the journey that we are on, and it is awesome, and it's frustrating, and it's hilarious, right? And it can be tragic, right? All the things, yes? But this is the ride we signed up for. This is the ride we signed up for. And we are in this room, and we are in this teaching, and I've said before, and I will say it again every single time, the people in this room can change the world. I have said it since I've been here, have I not? Right? The people in this room can change the world because we don't need the whole world to change. We just need critical mass. We need enough people knowing the capital T truth and living the capital T truth, not perfection, but being able to get recalibrated and stay anchored in truth. We need enough people doing that, and that will shift everything. That'll shift everything. So my invitation to you this week is do your work, your spiritual work. Be moved by the presence and the presence only, right? Want for the other what you want for yourself. And then let's just look and see how the world changes. Let's turn within. Oh, so we just settle in this morning. And even as I breathe, I sense and feel and know the presence of God, the Creator, Source, whatever you call it. It is what it is. It is all that there is. It is everywhere present, everywhere powerful, everywhere overflowing, everywhere creating, always creating. That same power and presence that hung the stars in the sky, that powers the cosmos, that same presence resides within each of us. And so we stand now in the power, as the power. And we know at the depth of being, we know oneness with the all that is. And knowing and sensing and feeling this all that is, that expresses as each of us, expresses in a multitude of ways, expresses as a variety. And oh, we behold the variety of pure spirit. We behold the variety of ways it expresses. Oh, the variety, the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful variety of ways the Spirit shows up and expresses in ways we cannot even imagine. And no matter what, we see the presence. We see God back of the appearance. And so what I am knowing this morning is that right here, right now, each of us says no to the big lie and yes to oneness. We are not separate. We are one. One. And so I affirm and know in this oneness that each of us is blessed. I speak the word of health and healing and vitality in the cells and organs and systems and the functions of the body temple of each one gathered here. Divine health, radiant health, expressing. I know for each one, relationships are healed and mended, resuscitated, restored. And those that have served their purpose, those relationships just harmoniously fall away, easily and effortlessly. I speak the word this morning for abundance and prosperity for each one, knowing that opportunity abounds, and that all needs are met, fully resourced, fully stocked, each one abundant and free. And I speak the word this morning for our beloved community. So grateful am I to be here, feeling and sensing the emerging vision of the divine that is emerging in this community, growing and thriving and flowing and flourishing. The energy in this community is magnificent, and we are blessed by it. And I give thanks for it. I am so grateful to be here, so grateful to be here. And so with deep gratitude, I release this word because it is complete. It is done. The healing is complete. And so it is. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Rochelle. Thank you. So repeat after me. I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
And I'm not going to do it.
And I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to lose my joy.
I'm going to lose my joy.
Reverend Rochelle just set us up.
She did.
I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. And I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to lose my joy. No, no, no. I want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it.
I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to lose my joy.
I'm not gonna lose my cheerfulness. I'm not gonna lose my faith. I'm not gonna lose my peace of mind, 'cause God is good all of the time. So I gotta say, I don't wanna do it,
and I'm not gonna do it.
and I'm not gonna do it.
Do it, and
I'm not gonna do it.
I'm not gonna lose my joy.
You wanna sing that? Sing with us. I don't
Wanna do it, and I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it, and I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna lose my joy.
I'm not gonna lose my forgiving heart. I'm not gonna lose my hope. I'm not gonna lose it
joy.
Come on, Annie.
I don't wanna do it and I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it and I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna lose my joy.
Let's do it one more time.
I don't wanna do it and I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it and I'm not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna lose my joy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Valerie Joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Valerie Joy, Annie Stafford, Billy Johnson, Dave Morishad, Renee Tobias, Suzanne Mulcahy. Big round of applause, please. Wonderful. All right, it is now time for our offering. And this is not the time to say, I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. Okay? That's not the time to say that. Thank you. I try to come through with a little something every Sunday. So I just want to say in all seriousness how grateful I am for the financial support of this community. It allows us to keep this 25,000 square foot campus up and running. It allows us to have classes, to have air conditioning, yay, and just for us to have a spiritual home where we can grow and flourish and thrive. And so thank you for all that you do and for all that you give and for all of your financial support. Truly, truly grateful and appreciated. So with that being said, I invite you now to take your offering if you are offering here now. And let's do our giving affirmation together. We'll say it. So I'm going to ask you to hold your offering over your heart. And let's do our giving affirmation. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief, and does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And now we have God is my source as our offering song.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy, my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
My microphone is working now. I just feel like we had a party, a spiritual party in here today. Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, so who's here for the very first time? Don't be shy. Raise your hand. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to CSL San Jose. It is so wonderful to have you here, and we would love to meet you and know more about you. Please join us in Fellowship Hall right over here for coffee, tea, refreshments. And I would love to meet and greet you and give you a big hug if you're up for it, or a handshake. So we'll see you out in Fellowship Hall. And the concierge desk has lots of information if there's information you want about the center or classes or anything like that. Okay? Wonderful. All right, so we have our teens coming on down. No need to wait. Practitioners are coming down. Come on down, practitioners. Our practitioners have on purple stoles. They are the ecclesiastical arm of the center, and they are available to pray with you right after service. If you need prayer, feel free to join them back there in the chapel, and they will pray with you.
Hi. Good morning. I am Jennifer Bick. I'm the Director of Youth and Family, and I want to acknowledge our volunteer, Nick, who led the teens today. Thank you.
Nick has a haircut. It looks fabulous. I didn't recognize you. I was like, who is that teen coming down?
I know, you should.
What's happening?
You should have seen the shock on my face when I
Wow.
walked.
How are you feeling about this? Looking good. Yeah, it looks great. Good. Excellent.
And I don't think you look like a teenager.
Well, it was
I
just a
think you
moment.
look like a grown man.
Just for a moment, I was like, who is that person? It's Nick. Wonderful. All right, so where are we now? What's going on? Oh, okay. We're going to sing our final song. Let's stand up, sing our release. We'll do our benediction, and we're out of here. Everybody, let's go.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Woo. So, please repeat after me. Thank you, Joni. It is all God.
It is all God.
It is all love.
It is all love.
And I am not going to lose my joy.
And I'm
Not going to lose my joy.
joy.
And so it is.
And so